It's been an interesting week where I've been exploring the power of radical acceptance. It has been something that has helped me a lot in the past more than a week, where I was moving through a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety around health symptoms that came up. Now, I am solo traveling across the world. I'm in a country way far away from home, way far away from the medical system that I'm used to and how things work where I'm from. And I had these symptoms come up that were concerning me. I've had this in the past where my body will give me signals and it'll be different than what I've experienced previously. And so that in and of itself will create anxiety within me. And I would think every time, maybe with the exception of just a few, has it always been that it's just my mind blowing up the thing and that I'm actually fine. And I knew that that's, statistically speaking, up until this point, it's always been my mind that made something feel bigger than it actually is. But regardless, like every other time, there's always that chance in the back of my mind that but this could be the time. It's a serious thing, and how will I know? Especially as I get older. So I was getting very anxious, and I was trying a lot of at-home remedies because it was my intestines, and I was having some issues, and it just wasn't working, and so I finally decided I was just going to go see a doctor. And it was this whole process of realizing that I had fear around all the steps of figuring out what doctor to go to, figuring out how to navigate the language barrier, figuring out what do I do with the fact that I have travel insurance, but I guess I have to pay cash up front and then I get reimbursed, and it's this whole thing. And what if it's all just in my head? So I went back and forth and back and forth. And during that time of anxiety and getting all kind of crunched up in my system and really losing touch with my creative capacity during that time because I was all tense and shut down inside, I did do this practice of radical acceptance. I practiced some meditation. At first, the meditation I tried was about trying to get past this feeling and make it go away or find the answer in my own mind. And then I would feel certainty with what felt very unknown. And because I was trying to force something out of the meditation, that did not work. So later on, I sat down again. And I just sat down with what was actually there within myself and in the circumstance. I'm like, yeah, okay, my body feels off. I accept that. My body feels off and I don't like that. I accept that too. My body feels off. I don't like it. And it scares me. Yeah, okay, I accept that. And I'm worried about all the things that I have to do if it actually was a serious situation, and that now I got to figure all this out. And then I'm worried about the financial aspect. I'm worried about the cultural aspect. I'm worried about the language aspect. And what if this all means that I have to come to face to face with my fear that that my whole adventure will fail because of just something like this coming up? I accept all that's here as well. And as I sat with what was in the circumstance and within myself, and just accepted each thing as I became aware of it, allowed it to be there, I found some level of peace. Enough within me settled that I could finally make a choice. Because that was another thing too that was getting me really stuck, is that I wasn't making a choice. I either let it go and just keep going on with life, or go see a doctor. But I wasn't choosing either thing, and I was just getting all stuck in indecision. And so with that practice of radical acceptance, I finally was able to just decide, hey, I think going and seeing a doctor will help me. Maybe it will be all just in my mind and that's it, fine. But if it's not, I should go check. So that's kind of what I landed on. And then once I finally decided, I was able to face the fear of all the steps of what that meant. For me, it was a lot of things. because a lot of things can create anxiety within myself. And so it was a really interesting exercise of radical acceptance, which led to finally deciding, which led to facing the fears and moving forward. And I did go to the doctor, and I was fine. And they gave me a suggestion to take a certain supplement, which has been helping, and it was pretty easy to move past the thing that was bothering me. But a lot of it was in my own mind, and that was really interesting to see. And interesting to see the specific things I was worried about. And interesting to see my reaction to those things I was worried about, or my reaction to being worried about the things. But I couldn't think my way out of it. And that was also a very powerful aspect to come to terms with, as I couldn't think my way out of it because it was all in my head and swirling around. But when I got present, I radically accepted what was happening and stopped rejecting what was happening. I was able to move forward, And there was no wrong choice. I would have been fine either way. But for me, I needed to go and get reassurance. And I got it. And then finally my mind was put at peace and I felt better instantly. And I got to experience that. I got to experience the relief. And that the worst case didn't happen. And that I was able to navigate it. And I feel more capacity around that. And I think it was reassuring too, because it helped me to remember, okay, I could navigate the world. Because I have been, but I get into these moments of feeling comfortable with what I'm used to, even though a few months ago that would have been a stretch. And then another thing comes up, and then I navigate it. Then I realize, okay, I am capable. I am capable, and I always will be to these things that present themselves upon my path. And it's okay to be worried that whatever that next thing is that comes up in the path, that we won't know what to do, or we won't be able to face it, because it's the next unknown. And it's very normal to feel afraid about that. And I'm glad that there wasn't anything wrong. I'm glad that my worst fear of, this one thing takes me off my journey, and that means that I failed and didn't come to pass. What was interesting with this practice of radical acceptance along the bumpy road of this last week was that I realized even if the worst case did occur, this practice would help me even then. That I would be able to become present to the moment, whatever's coming up, and begin to accept each piece within myself that was triggered by that circumstance. And often we are more afraid of what might happen than we are in the midst of it, because when you're in the midst of it, you're just moving through it. You're having to figure out the next thing. It forces a level of presence. But worrying about what might happen, that's hard. That can be even harder sometimes. And I noticed that even with the worry of what might happen, that radical acceptance was very helpful. I was accepting all the possibilities as being okay that I was worried about them, or being okay that they were possibilities. So maybe there's something in your life right now that could benefit from this practice of radical acceptance. Acceptance is not the same thing as resignation. Resignation is giving in to a sense of powerlessness, to something that feels greater than ourself. Unchangeable, immovable. Acceptance is a present moment practice of, in this moment, I'm not going to resist anything about this moment within myself or in the circumstance. I'm just going to accept that it's here and that I'm here. And it's really empowering, actually, when we take that stance where I'm the one that accepts this, right? If you think about it, I could be the one trying to fight against it in my own mind. But if I'm showing up and I'm choosing to accept that this is the circumstance, this is how I feel about it in this moment, that's okay. It's a choice. And choice is always empowering. So what in your life right now is inviting greater acceptance, greater radical acceptance? And know that the practice is just for this moment. You don't have to accept the circumstance for next week or accept this whatever for next month, like you're projecting it into the future, like it won't change. Acceptance is just in this moment right now. I'm choosing to be present. I'm choosing to be okay. Even if I don't feel okay, I'm choosing to be okay that I'm not okay. I'm choosing to be okay that I don't have to feel okay about it. Yeah, how freeing. And how empowering when we allow ourselves to choose to be present and to be with what is in front of us. So, yay, I'm not having a medical crisis. Only a slight existential crisis. Or at least I was. And the journey continues, my friends, and it will continue for you too. So, meet me here again very soon. Join me here on this channel for all sorts of shenanigans, deep thoughts, random thoughts, stories if you want to hear them, other things. Here we go.